An old man is scratching his head. He had a wife and 3 daughters. They were so poor that they did not have enough food to eat every day. That fisherman was casting his net into the water 4 times. One day the fisherman left the city until he reached the seashore. Then I throw his net into the water and wait until it sinks. Then collect the rope and pull the net. He felt it getting heavier until he was unable to pull it any further. So he made his clothes and dived into the water and started dragging the net until he finally brought it to the shore. The fisherman opened the net and was overwhelmed with happiness. But he did not find a rock that had been caught in a net. The fisherman was sad and said, "What a strange catch." Then he ran away and cleaned the net and its kinks in the water the second time. She broke the net and had to dive into the water twice more to free her. When he pulled her to the beach and looked inside her full of blood in his eyes, there was no stone in the net and 2 rotten pieces of wood. He spoke eloquently and said, "This is the strangest day I have ever seen him." Then the fisherman had no choice but to spread the net and clean it twice. Then he threw him into the water a 3rd time and waited until he sank. When he pulled it out, he did not find small rocks and broken bottles inside. He started crying because his luck was bad. Then the fisherman raised his eyes to the heavens and said, "Oh my God! To learn to cast a net in the water only 4 times a day. I threw it 3 times. There was only one more attempt at help me, oh God." Then the fisherman threw his net into the water to the square. When he pulled it out, he found it had been destroyed twice. He immersed himself in the water and worked for a long time until it became hot and pulled him to shore. When he opened it with a copper pipe with a stopper at the end. Al-Sayyad was happy with that. He saw that it would keep him away from the fish he had not caught today. He said to himself, "I will take him to the market. It is definitely worth a large sum of money." The hunter did not move the puppies and found them to be very poor. He couldn't even move it. He decided to remove the plug and extract what was inside it. Finally, the fisherman was able to remove the plug. Then he tilted the jar on the floor and shook it. But nothing came out of it, so Dasha al-Bagla hit him. But after a few moments, thick smoke rose from it. The smoke continued to rise from the puppies until 2 very large, frightening genies materialized before him. And when the hunter saw him, he shuddered to rap. His jaw stopped moving and speaking. But he controlled his fear a little and said to the genie, "Oh genie, who trapped you in these puppies?" The genie and the jinn laughed. The fisherman asked him, "Why are you laughing? You didn't answer my question." The genie said, "Laugh because you're about to die." And when the fisherman heard that, he squeaked and coughed from the intensity of his rapping. He said to the genie, "Why do you want to kill me after I threw you out into the world for the 2nd time?" The genies did not answer the 2nd time. He said to the fisherman, "Tell me how there is an enmut." "I freed you from the puppies," said the hunter. "Is this my penalty for that?" said the hunter elf. "Did King Solomon leave?" said the hunter. "He fell asleep. May the best blessings and peace be upon our prophet." The genie said, "So let's hear the story, hunter." Then the genie started scratching, saying, "Hundreds of years ago, during the era of the prophet Solomon, peace be upon him, all the fairies were following his command. After God made us serve him, one day he ordered me. So she rebelled and disobeyed her command. Then Balia frowned and put me in these copper jars. And I scratch it closed. And stay in the sea. I was lost there for 100 years. And I repeat, any 2 people will free me. I will make him rich. But once in a while, no one freed me. And when I entered the next 100 years, I made the same covenant. That someone will free me from these puppies. I will make him king. And grant him 3 wishes every day. But these floats also drove. And no one came. Then another time, followed by other people. No one freed me. I became very angry. And I said to myself, from now on, anyone who will free me, I'll make him choose how to die. And after a period of time, you appeared and set me free. So tell me how to die. When the fisherman heard Al-Jarni's article, he replied to her saying, we belong to Allah and to Him we shall return. Far away all these years. And your freedom now, my bad luck. Then he looked at the fairy and said, save me the face no. And they will forgive it all. But if you spend it. Fazik sells everything to me. But the fairy did not possess the ant. He decided, saying, tell me how you will die. With I's permission, the fisherman was convinced that he would soon be doomed. And he will die soon. He cried and said, my sons. How do I leave them? And who will take care of them after me? So he prayed to his Lord and said, my Lord, there is no distinction between them. Then he turned to the genie and said, for God's sake, free me as a reward for freeing you from this potion. The genie looked at the hunter and said, your death is the reward for total salvation. The hunter then thought to himself, he's not going to confront me, and humans are smarter than heaven. Then he was not a hunter. Accepted his grave as a reminder to the genie. So he asked him and said to her, can you answer me one more question before you kill me? The genie replied, ask, but only one question. The fisherman said to the genie, for God's sake, tell me, was I really inside this potion? The genie replied, believe it or not, we will start the last of it. The fisherman said, yes, I can't believe it. The genie said, I swear to God that I was trapped in this dose. Said the hunter, you lie. This jar is not big enough to touch even one of your hands. I will cover your entire body. The genie shakes off and turns into smoke. And you flocked to the beach and then gathered. And the beginning of the dose disappearance. And when the smoke disappeared, the genie shouted from within, he hunts. Do you believe it now? The fisherman immediately grabbed the plug. Secure it tightly in the dose slot. Then he shouted at the genie and said, oh genie, tell me how it is to die. Because anyway, I will promote you in this sea. I build a house here on the beach. Even one of the kick hunters hunts in this place of a trap. He told people that there were genies on that beach. They will choose how they want him to die. Then the Genoese realized that the hunter had been deceived. And he said to him, oh hunter, don't do that to me, I was kidding Mac. The hunter replied, you are not the most vile and despicable of the genies. Then a man began to administer a potion of sea salt. The Genoese called out to the hunter. He told him in a kind voice, oh hunter, if you open the dose, and she took me out, I will make you rich. The hunter replied, you lie. I will punish you, and this dose is in the sea. Shouted the genie, oh hunter, don't do that. And I pledge to you to hold on forever. And I will make you rich. When the hunter heard that, he asked the Genoese to pledge themselves before God. If he gets hot, he releases it explicitly. They won't hurt. And it will make him rich. And after the Geno made a covenant with us. The hunter opened the potion. After smoking, it rises. Until the fetus heats up again. Then kick the dose away. Until she flew into the chasm. I reached a place in the sea. And when the hunter saw that, he felt that the fairy had deceived him, Martin Vanya. He is certain that he will die soon. But he said to the genie, I am lost before God unless you touch me. Let her betray me. Otherwise, God bless you. The genie laughed when he heard the hunter's voice and said, follow me, hunter, and hide. The hunter followed the elf. After Kanla, they even prayed to Jabal and Yaka outside the city. Behind that mountain was the Milia forest. With trees, he was somewhere in the forest. Wahara is surrounded by 4 small hills. The fisherman looked at the lake in amazement. Because he saw it in different places, shapes and colors. The Genoese asked the fisherman to cast his net in the lake. So he did what the fairy asked. Then pull it out. When he opened it, he saw 4 fish in it. In different colors. Single white. And another red one. And a third is blue, and a 4th yellow. The Geno said to him, "Take these fish to your city king. It will be given enough to become a Ghanaian." Then he asked him not to catch fish from this lake more than once a day. And then he disappeared from before him. The hunter did as the Genoese told him. He took the colorful fish and went to the king. And for once, the king is that strange fish. He obliged and bought it for 2 good sums of money. In the morning, the fisherman goes to the amazing lake every day. He catches 4 fish of different colors. Then he sells it to the king. He thanks God for his bounty. Since that day, not a day went by for the fisherman, his wife, and his children. With food, and in the morning he is in better condition. We are all very happy. And this life. And the lake that the Genoese gave to the fisherman. They caused him theft and theft, oh. Here ends today's stories. May you always be safe. And do not forget to pray, and peace be upon the messenger of God.